Hey guys, so our objective for today is I can recognize the central message or the main idea in an informational text, and then I can identify details that support key ideas. So, identifying main idea or central message is very difficult. It takes a lot of practice, and so as we're reading it, we're going to be doing a lot of practice as we're reading nonfiction text. Your assignments for today is a you-do that you will find in Canvas. You will be answering some different fill-in-the-blank questions, and then a multiple choice question to identify the central message of a short passage, and then you will have vocabulary activity in Cami. So often when we read, we should think about the central idea, or main ideas, what the author wants the reader to know. So this is the important thing. It's what the author wants you to know. Central ideas or main ideas are the big ideas that readers should take away from the reading. It is what the text is mostly about. Sometimes the author tells us the central idea at the beginning or ending of a text. Sometimes headings or other text features can give us clues or evidence to help us identify what the central ideas could be. Details such as facts or examples provide evidence that tells us more about the central idea. So, looking at the poster on the left, a central idea is what the text is mostly about. You will hear me say that a lot. Is this mostly about, and then whatever it is we're thinking the main idea will be. We can look for text clues by looking at headings, looking at the visuals, reading the first or the last sentence, and then looking for repeated words, because if they're repeated, they're more than likely pretty important. When we're looking at central idea, we like to think of it as a table, and with this table, you have to have supporting details. So the legs are the details, and without all of the legs, the central idea would not be able to stand up. The table wouldn't be able to stand. So when we evaluate details to determine key ideas that support the central idea, some of the details that we might see are examples, facts, evidence, and descriptions. So we're going to be looking at this a lot to help us find the details. We are going to continue using our informational text today, the U.S. Constitution. Remember, informational text gives us facts and examples about a text. Informational text often include headings and subheadings to signal what comes next. It has a central idea supported by key details and facts, social studies words specific to the topic, and then visual and text features. We are going to be focusing on the central ideas supported by key details and facts. All right, so we are going to reread page 237 in our My Book. And as we're reading this, we're going to be thinking about what is the central idea of this page. Or another way we could ask it is, what is this page mostly about? So you should have finished reading this text yesterday, and we are going to be focusing on this section called articles. Now, something that I can see text features. Number one, I can see this caption. It says the articles allow people and government to keep all Americans safe. They say that the government can build an army and a navy to guard the country. There's an illustration right here. It looks like, reminds me of voting. And then I've got my text. So I'm going to go ahead and read this and use it with finding the central idea. 2. Articles. The 7 articles of the Constitution explain the branches of the U.S. government. They tell what those branches can and cannot do. In the United States, the people run the government. Americans have the right to vote. When they vote, Americans choose the people who will work for them in the government. The articles divide the U.S. government into 3 branches. Each branch has different powers. No one branch can become stronger than the other. This is called a balance of power. Every branch is important. So I'm looking for the central idea, and some of the things that I can do to help me find the central idea is to use text clues and evidence to help me figure it out. The first one, I know that the central idea is what the text is mostly about. I also know that authors sometimes tell us what that could be at the beginning or at the ending of the text. And text features can also give me a clue. So the article says, or the heading says articles. So I know that this page is going to tell us information about the articles of the Constitution. I'm going to reread the first and last sentence on the page because sometimes the author tells us the central idea at the beginning or the end of the text. The 7 Articles of the Constitution explain the branches of the United States government. Okay. And then at the last one, this one says, this is called a balance of power. Every branch is equal. So it says that the 7 articles explain the 3 branches of government and that they make each branch equal and create a balance of power. So as I was reading that, it makes me think that the central idea is that the articles are important because they explain how the power is divided between each branch of government. All right, so looking at this next page, the parts of the Constitution. The Constitution has 3 main parts: the preamble, the articles, and the amendments. 1. Preamble. The preamble is the beginning of the Constitution. The preamble tells Americans why they need a government and a constitution. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. So I'm trying to figure out the central idea on this page. I'm going to use my text clues and my evidence to help me figure this out. So I see the heading preamble right here. So I'm guessing that this section is going to be all about the preamble. The first section says, the preamble is the beginning of the Constitution. So I know that the beginning of the Constitution is the preamble. I see the words Constitution and preamble repeated so many times on this page. So if I look at it, I see Constitution right here. Preamble, Constitution, preamble, Constitution. And then I see Constitution again down here. So I'm thinking that because I see that so many times, those words are probably a big part of the central idea. So I came up with this main idea or central idea. The central idea is the amendment. So the central idea that I came up with is the preamble is at the beginning of the Constitution and explains why we need the Constitution. All right, so we're looking at the third section, the amendments, and we're going to be looking for the central idea of this passage. And the way that we're going to do that is to use text clues and evidence to help me figure it out. So on the left reading, the amendments were not part of the original Constitution. They were added later. They gave Americans many rights. For example, the amendments say that Americans cannot be made slaves. They can belong to any religion they want. All Americans age 18 and older can vote. Since it was signed in 1787, the Constitution has been amended or added to 27 times. The first 10 amendments are called the Bill of Rights. They are the most important rights Americans have. So I can see the heading, amendments. This is my thinking, how do I find the main idea? The first sentence says the amendments were not part of the original Constitution. The last sentence says these are the most important rights Americans have. And I can see some words that are repeated are amendments. I can see Constitution a lot, but one of the other ones that I see is rights. Amendments. There's amended, Bill of Rights. Americans have those important rights. So rights and amendments are repeated many times on this page. So that makes me think that the main idea or the central idea is going to have to do with the amendments and rights. So I came up with this. The central idea is the amendments were rights added to the Constitution. Pretty simple explanation, but that tells me what this paragraph is mostly about. All right, you guys are going to do the same thing, and you're going to be answering those questions. What is the heading? What does the first sentence say? What does the last sentence say? What words do you see repeated? And then what is the main idea or central idea? After that, you will go to Cami and you will complete a vocabulary page about your vocabulary words.